Welcome to the Monday Warrior podcast. So we all dread Mondays. It's the end of the weekend, the start of a new work week, and essentially the rebirth of the 5-day minimum grind cycle. We've all heard of the term weekend warrior, where we suffer for the week to live it up for the weekends. But what if we didn't have to suffer for the week just to enjoy those 2 days off? What if we could actually enjoy more than 2 of the 7 days of the week? What if we could not only take back Monday, but also Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? The Monday Warrior podcast aims to challenge your opinions and attitude on the workweek cycle, to look at the new week with opportunity for improvement rather than inevitable dread, and to provide you with the necessary motivation to harden your mentality and to 180 your perspective on your current circumstances. Because at the end of the day, it's your life, and no matter how you frame it, you technically don't have to do anything. You get to. So, jumping right into this, episode 2 of Monday Warrior. The topic at hand here is making the best with what you currently have. And that's just about life traits, life skills, situations, and just overcoming obstacles and using your God-given talents to overcome everything that's necessary, to be the person that you need to be the person the situation requires you to be. You know, workouts and or otherwise, don't stop or quit because your circumstance isn't perfect. Circumstances are rarely perfect. For example, going through quarantine this year, 2020 quarantine. Gyms were closed and most people just stopped working out. And when you stop working out, you stop eating right too, because we all know that's an all or nothing kind of situation. What's the point of doing one if the other one can't happen, if it's not possible? The problem is, a lot of people weren't adapting to this new situation. A lot of people weren't thinking of new ways to work out. Going for runs, if they never ran before. Doing bodyweight exercises. Never done bodyweight exercises before. The point is, something is always better than nothing. And to really understand your situation and make the best of what you currently have, that's a person that'll always get ahead. That's a person that'll always be ahead, and they'll always stay ahead too. Because that's a person who's thinking 2 steps ahead. The person that's always planning 2 steps ahead. That's a person that's always winning in life. We focus so much on our shortcomings that we often oversee our blessings. And the way I see it is that we're all dealt a certain hand of cards in our lives. Certain hands may seem better than others at a glance. And these cards may be something like genetics, height, build, talent, or other, quote-unquote God-given gifts that maybe you didn't have to work for. Maybe something that you are naturally talented at, whether it's music or art or naturally more athletic. Naturally better genetics in bodybuilding, whatever the case may be. And if we're going to make an analogy here to poker, the winning hand depends on the situation, as always. The flop, turn, the river, etc. So at the end of the day, we're a testament to how we adapt to our surroundings, to how we use our skills, those hands, and resources at our disposals to succeed in every circumstance. So with this train of thought, an amazing hand, maybe like pocket aces, an objectively good hand, may not be favorable to a situation. And someone else who may have lower cards, but the suits are favorable to the flop, the turn, or the river, that's the person that's going to succeed. So there's no real talent or, genetic gift that's inferior to another. It all depends on how you use these gifts. It's not the weapon or the tool, it's the user. It's how you use these things to your circumstances. So whenever you feel like you were born at a disadvantage, and every day you walk around with a chip on your shoulder, wishing that things were better, maybe wishing that you were taller, maybe wishing that you were more athletic, wishing that you were naturally gifted at something. It doesn't necessarily make you better. It's about how you use those skills, how you use those gifts and traits to your advantage. And the point is, you won't know how much you have until you truly value it, until you truly value what you're given, your talents, or what you see as your shortcomings. But in reality, they may not be shortcomings. They're just traits that are favorable to specific situations, that'll put you at an advantage over someone else, It's not about comparing either. But it's about understanding your value and understanding that you're worth more than you see yourself sometimes. The situation just hasn't allowed you to prove that yet. And when you value what you have, only then will you understand how your skills and blessings can be used at your disposal, how you can use them to be favorable and to win those circumstances and to overall just win that day. And it comes down to making the best with what you currently have. And it first comes down to understanding what you have, understanding your arsenal, and then tailoring it to problems, to obstacles, and that's how you overcome. Understand, appreciate, strategize. Make the best of what you currently have. So the quote of this week's episode that I want to go over is a quote by Voltaire. And it's, "Man is free the moment he wishes to be." So how do I interpret this quote? How do I see this quote? I see this as freedom isn't something that's found through having or achieving something new. It's a state of mind and a matter of perspective. At the end of the day, freedom, it's nothing more than a mentality. It's not a place, it's not a reward. It's a state of being, it's a state of understanding. Because, when you come to genuinely appreciate your life circumstances, freedom becomes understandable and reachable. Everything in this world, everything in this physical world, starts and ends in your mind. It's all about perspective. And self-fulfillment understanding is no different. So regardless of your physical circumstances, in a dead-end job, on the streets, even in a wealthy home, you are free the moment you mentally resolve yourself to be. So say you're working a 9-to-5 job, and you hate your job, and you see yourself as a prisoner of your boss, as a prisoner of the system, as a problem. That's a state of mind. The flip side is you can look at this job as an opportunity to grow as a person, to build your character, even to just grow and climb the corporate ladder if that's so what you wish to choose. And it's really just about understanding and seeing the flip side of every situation. That this job is something that you're fortunate enough to have while a lot of people don't have, especially this year. 2020, when the pandemic hit and there were so many layoffs. And that you're still able to make money and to put food on the table. And suddenly you feel so much gratitude and you feel that kind of freedom to be able to have those pleasures, to be able to have those benefits that someone else might not have right now. But that all comes down to starting to see the situation as something that you're grateful for, as something that you're lucky enough and blessed enough to have at this specific moment, versus as, it's just another 9-to-5 job, it's just another Monday, it's just another Wednesday. I wish I didn't have to work. And like what I was saying before, it doesn't have to be a dead-end job. You could also be doing exactly what you want. You could have all the money you want. You could have a huge, wealthy home. The perfect life you imagined. And yet, you can still be shackled and imprisoned the same way. Because regardless of all the wealthy opportunities, all the fantastic opportunities that you would have envisioned yourself to have before and would have been your ideal and perfect life, social and or professional success you have, unless you understand yourself and what you genuinely want, you will never be able to free your mind. And you will never be satisfied with your life until you change your state of mind into that appreciative, into that gratitude and receiving state. Everything in life is perspective. And that's what Voltaire means by man is free the moment he wishes to be, because freedom isn't a goal. It's not having something or achieving something. It's not, I'll be free when this happens. I'll be free when I graduate school. I'll be free when I find a job. I'll be free when I quit my job. You see how those two things are already so different, polar opposites? Because freedom is a state of mind. It's something that is different for everyone. It's a mentality. It's not a place, and it's not a reward. But yeah, that's basically the end of episode 2 of Monday Warrior here. Summarizing making the best with what you currently have. Whether there's situations, if we're talking fitness here, workout situations. If you are or aren't going to a gym, there are still ways to exercise. You just have to be willing to adapt and to make the best of what you currently have. or with skill and life traits, or things that you were born with that you may see as a burden. But those gifts will shine in specific situations that allow them to. And they'll shine for your unique gifts. There'll be a chance for you to prove yourself, to prove your worth in those situations that someone else may not have the opportunity to, because those gifts are yours and yours alone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Monday Warrior. Thank you for your time and support, and be sure to keep an eye out for next week's episode that will be available for listening on Sunday night. The clock is ticking. Start and continue chasing the life that you want to live this week, the week after, and so forth. Stay driven, never settle, and never give up. Never forget that the shackles of restriction and limitation start and end in our minds. We are free the moment we and we alone tell ourselves so. Now go out there and tear this week to shreds.